Welcome to the Bistec Arts Academy podcast. I am Gayashan Wagachi, Associate Software Engineer at Bistec.
And I am Chandimran Navire, Associate Architect at Bistec Global.
We are presenting the very first episode of the Arts Tech Show. Yeah, so we are launching a brand new podcast, and this is a new thing for us, for all of us. So, Chandima, I think it's better to talk about the podcast itself. You came up with the idea first. So, tell me a bit about what was your first thoughts and what kind of a podcast is this going to be, and what will be the focus of this podcast?
Yeah, so we are Bistec Global. So we have software development, IT managed services, accounting BPO services, and digitally enabled services. So since we are like a multi-services company, we do have a section called Arts Academy, where we use our talents to build up the existing employees, right? So we skill up their knowledge and we get to a place where we can deliver good software and other services. So in order to do that, we need to build the passion, the hype between our employees, or I would say our hearts, right? So to do that, we were thinking like different things that we can do, and this is one of the attempts that we are focusing on in order to build the hype among the technical trends, right? So I guess hopefully we can continue this in every month, and let's welcome it.
Yeah, of course. So this is going to be a monthly podcast, and we are broadcasting on every third Wednesday each month.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Yeah, so we are streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, Zoom, as well as Twitch. So we invite you to spread the word and to share the link with your friends, and also share your ideas in the comment section. So there are so many exciting things coming up in the tech world last couple of weeks. The .NET 7 was released. And Next.js 13 was released, React 18 is out there, and the merge on Ethereum blockchain was happened, and also the ChatGPT, the most exciting thing. ChatGPT is going to be, seems to be like take over the world. So
at least some part of it.
Yeah. So what can we talk about first?
So let's talk about our beloved framework, .NET 7.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, .NET 7 was released last month, November. So, it is so feature-packed, and there are so many upgrades. So, what is your favorite? What is the most exciting thing for you to talk about .NET 7?
Yeah, so for .NET 7, I think .NET MAUI, the UI framework that can build application across different platforms, is the the best thing for me.
Yeah, so MAUI is a huge thing with .NET 7 release, right? So and it is newly released. So I think it's better to explain a bit more and discuss a bit more about MAUI.
Yeah, so MAUI actually started with .NET 6, right? By the time the .NET 6 was released, the Microsoft team was trying to release the MAUI as well, but there are some hiccups here and there, so they decided to delay the release. Now with .NET 7, they have announced that MAUI is generally available.
Yeah, so Chandima, what is the advantages and what is the thing that developers are getting with Mavi?
Yeah, so if you have heard about this Ionic or React Native, they tend to be some hybrid application development platforms where you can develop for maybe Android and iOS at the same time. So Mavi is a bit advanced than that, right? So what it does is like you can develop for iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac at the same time in the same code base. You build once and you run it everywhere.
Okay, so with Ionic, we only can develop on Android and iOS.
Yes.
And with React Native, if you want to develop desktop application, you have to use frameworks like Electron, right? But
So in React Native, it is only targeted for mobile devices.
oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So if you want to run React on desktop, yes, you can
Yeah,
use Electron.
yeah.
It is not React Native, but React.
yeah. So you have to use different things, different frameworks for different platforms.
Yeah, that's what's great about Mavi.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You write once and it will run everywhere.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So yeah, so I think with Mavi you can deploy to Android, iOS, and Mac OS and Windows, and also there was the thing like Samsung OS.
Yeah, the Tyson framework,
Yeah.
right? So if you have a Samsung smart TV
Hmm.
or a vehicle which runs this Samsung software, automobile, right? So it also supports running these Mavi applications.
Yeah. So yeah, other than Mavi, what are the other things that we are getting with .NET 7 release?
So apart from this Mavi, I think a lot of the focus on .NET 7 was given to the performance improvements. Now, as per the records, like .NET 7 can run 7 million requests at a second, right? It can serve 7 million records, and there are like huge performance boost in terms of Blazor as well, and they have like announced that native AOT is also released, where you can do certain performance improvements using AOT.
Okay, so yeah, I think now .NET 7 is the fastest fastest framework that can serve HTTP requests, right?
Yes, you are correct.
Faster than Node, faster than Rust.
Yes.
So yeah, now the Blazor is not a brand new thing. Blazor was released before, but I think we should talk a bit about Blazor.
Yeah, so Blazor is running on the browser, right? So you can write with any of the languages. So you can use .NET, Rust, Go, or any other language that you want to use on the development time. But it will be compiled into this WebAssembly code, and the browsers will run that machine code directly on the browser rather than JavaScript.
Yeah, okay. So that's it about .NET 7.
There are a lot, but let's stop there.
We can talk about .NET all day long, but we will talk about .NET. But for now, we have other topics to discuss. So let's go to the UI side. So as the next topic, we have Next. Next 13 was released.
Yeah, so Next.js 13 was released recently. So it has come with a lot of features, right? So you can see like there are some breaking changes as well. So they have introduced a new folder called the app folder, where you can do route grouping and nested route and layouts. So many features are there, but they are kind of breaking changes if you are migrating from Next.js 12 to 13.
I think some of the features of Next.js 13 is still beta, but the major, but the release is done. Next.js 13 is out there, so you can use it. But I have a concern. There are so many groundbreaking changes with the Next.js 13. Now there is this app directory other than the pages directory, and if you want to upgrade your applications into 13th version, then you have to change lots of code. So what is your opinion, what is your advice? Should developers upgrade into .NET Next.js 13, and will developers use Next.js 13 features right away?
Yeah, so what I would suggest is like if you are using these node packages, you need to upgrade them as soon as you can, right? Because there are like security vulnerabilities that is being found every day, and there are like packages that are outdated, having a lot of issues. So if you are getting a new version, that also means that there are some security patches that are being delivered with the latest versions. So you should be upgrading constantly, right? So you should keep your application up to date with the latest packages. That is a must.
Yeah, so you are basically saying is sooner or later you have to upgrade.
Yeah,
So
you can like stick to one version, right? But when you are going forward, it will not give you the enough features to facilitate the development, right? So the world will move on and you are stuck in one place.
yeah,
That should not happen. Of course, I would encourage that whenever you develop a front-end application with these JavaScript frameworks, always plan for the upgrades.
yeah. So one other thing about Next.js 13, now they are going to use TurboPack instead of Webpack, and they are saying TurboPack is 700 times faster than Webpack.
Yeah, so if we talk about these code bundlers, right? So we had Gulf and Grunt before in very earlier days in like in when you're using AngularJS. Then Webpack actually came along, and it actually had capability to do this tree shaking, right? Where you shake off all the dependencies which are not being used, and it had the capability to do this lazy loading kind of bundling, right? You have like different bundles for each route, and I think this Turbo Pack is a new addition for that. And yeah, it's awesome having like 700 faster. That's way too good for us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now for the UI side, we also can talk about another UI framework, which is Quick. Quick is like different than other frameworks. Let's quickly talk about Quick.
Yeah. So Quick is kind of a different framework, as you said, right? So it is developed by Builder.io. Rather, I would say the legendary, the inventor of Angular and AngularJS has invented this framework, right? So it's saying like the tagline is how to remove 99% of JavaScript from the main thread. So what is Quick is trying is like try to reduce the number of JavaScript executions on the browser, the client side, and by doing so to improve the performance of the application, whole application. So yeah, so you have Quick and you have Heartytown. The two components are going hand to hand.
Yeah. So what are the major advantages that we can have with Quick?
Yeah, so if you are developing rather, let's say you want to have a 100% on Lighthouse, right? You want maximum page load performance and the SEO and the accessibility. So then Quick is the way to go. but you have to be careful with Quick because it is not fully featured for every use case, right? So basically it has this concept called resumability, right? So where you serve the generated HTML from the server and the code is forced on the client, right? Then when you interact with the UI elements, let's say for example you clicked on a button and then only it will go to the server and fetch that particular code piece which should be executed on the browser. So it's a nice way of thinking, a different way of thinking. I think you should check this out.
Yeah, so can you briefly explain like uh, what are the best scenarios that is Quick best for, and what are the things maybe developers should think twice before use Quick?
Yeah, so as an example, I can show you like if you have a very simple application, here you can see this application is posted on the server, and when you click on the button, it will go to the server and get that content. And the same thing will happen on this Hacker News sample, right? So it will take all the generated content on the server and render it on the browser itself. And the best thing is like if you have a static site, rather I would say like you want to fetch some data and based on the data you want to generate some HTML and you want to display that HTML, and there are like less number of interactions with the UI, then I think Quick is the best way. Otherwise, if you have to develop something like a game or some more interactive content, then Quick is not the best way to do that.
So basically the thing is, if your application is very static, then you can use Quick
Yeah.
without problem. If it is so interactive, then you maybe think twice, right?
Yeah, so I have tried this application to develop a DApp, right?
Decentralized application, yeah, on blockchain.
Exactly. The blockchain application. So what it does is it is always interacting with this browser extension called MetaMask, right? So if you are using MetaMask, you can't access that MetaMask extension on the server side. So Quick is not the best way to do this in that case. Like if you are interacting with something like Web3.js, so you will have to use the client side components.
Yeah.
Then you are like trading off between the client side interaction and the server side performance.
Yeah. Okay, so now that is Quick. It's super fun because it's so different, right? You should try it out.
Yeah, so they have this party town component, right, which is the routing system for Quick, which is also nice, and you can see very similarities between the party town and the Next.js 13 routing system. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now if we go to the QA side, the testing side a bit, what we can talk on that side?
Yeah, I would say like on the automation, right?
Yeah, QA automation.
We can talk about Cypress, which is a very interesting tool.
Yeah. Let's talk about Cypress.
Yeah, so Cypress is actually a UI testing tool, a web testing tool, right? So you can test any of the web content using Cypress, and there are a lot of advantages of using Cypress, and it's very fun to use.
Yeah, the user interface is pretty clean and beautiful, and it's joy to use Cypress.
Yeah, so I have used like several frameworks other than this Cypress, but the most interesting thing about using Cypress is the Cypress UI, right? So where you can actually do the time traveling, right? And also you can inspect and get all the IDs and etc. And also it supports like running all the tests in your own browser, right? It supports different browsers, like you can run on any Chromium browser, maybe Chrome, Edge, and Opera, like that. So a lot of browsers that came with this V8 engine, it is supporting.
So yeah, Chandimu, so with Cypress you can do end-to-end testing as well as component testing, as I know. So but you cannot do any unit testing with Cypress. So what are the limitations and what are the things that you can do? How the developers can integrate Cypress into their projects?
Yeah, so as I said, like this is a framework that is for testing the websites,
Yeah.
right? Web applications. So it can be done by the developers as well as the testing team. The QA team also can use Cypress to automate their tests, right? At the same time, developers when they start the development, they can quickly initiate with like a simple npm command for initiating a Cypress project, right? And as you said, like we can use it for component testing, right? If you are using it for component testing, you will have to use some other frameworks like Storybook, right? So if you have not heard about Storybook, it is also a UI design framework, right, where you can have different instances of the same component, and you can use Cypress to like automate those instances and test out the capabilities or the features of the same component at different cases, right? And about the end-to-end testing, of course, Cypress supports like flow of actions. You can do, let's say you want to log into the application and test out some of the application features, and you can clean up the application logout, right? Like guys, you can do certain end-to-end tests as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think with Cypress you only can you only can test on one tab on the browser, and also
Yeah.
likewise
So
there are some limitations,
Cypress
right?
actually has some limitations, right? I would say like it's totally developed on JavaScript and Node, so you can't do things outside the browser pretty much, right? But there are some features provided by Cypress team that you can execute external process, but more or less it's totally on the browser, right? And also in the browser there are like few limitations, like you can't do multi-tab testing, and also you can't test different domains on a single test case, right? Those are like very minor points, but you should know if you are like trying to automate an application and these are your major points that you want to automate, then Cypress might not be your excellent tool.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So uh, the Cypress team says like their tagline is they can test anything runs on the browser, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we have the merge, on the Ethereum blockchain. Merge was postponed several times, but now the merge happened, and there is a groundbreaking change on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah, so this merge was happened very recently, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And for the developers, there were some changes in terms of these test networks,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
we also did some little bit of blockchain development,
Yeah,
and we had to change this Infura account and so and so.
yeah. If you are building DApps, decentralized applications, then you are using those test networks to test your application. So the older test networks are going to deprecated. Now
Yeah.
the Gorelli is the test network currently they are using. So you will have to upgrade. I mean, you will have to do minor changes in your code to
Migrate, no?
migrate to
But the mainnet is still is there, right? You
Yeah.
can do the normal Ethereum transactions on the mainnet.
Yeah. Now the change happened on the Ethereum blockchain was Ethereum was a proof of work blockchain. the consensus protocol was proof of work, but now it is proof of stake. So the consensus protocol was changed. But as if you are working with cryptocurrencies, if you are a trader, if you are trading cryptocurrencies, you won't see any difference. And also if you are developing dApps, other than those test network issue, you won't see any changes. So it's like a deep level change. On upper layers, you won't see any change.
Okay, so what was the reason for this change? Why they want to do this change?
Yeah, there was this concern about power consumption in crypto world because
yeah, I heard this China mining farms, right? So they totally banned the mining farms. Now they can't do any mining on China.
yeah, I think we have to explain a bit about this mining and miners, mining farms, things
That's
like that.
a whole interesting story.
Yeah,
right?
whole interesting story. So the blockchains that using proof of work as their consensus algorithm, the mechanism is when you are doing a transaction on a blockchain, you have to verify the transaction, and to verify the transaction, you have to solve a puzzle. So people are trying to solve this puzzle because the first one solve the puzzle will get some incentive.
Okay.
Will get some money. So people are competing to solve the puzzle.
So if you are doing like this proof of work on the blockchain, on the Bitcoin network,
Yeah.
you are getting some Bitcoin on behalf, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose of being a miner, no?
Yes. That is why you mine. You are mining cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, in earlier days, like the miners got lot of Bitcoins, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays it's like points 0.0000 something, right?
Yeah. Yes, I don't remember the exact number, but however, on the Bitcoin network, they are making half the incentive in a certain period. So the incentive becomes lesser and lesser. Yeah. So and they are doing it to optimize the blockchain in a sense. So yeah. So now with this change, the miners won't be able to mine cryptocurrencies on Ethereum blockchain anymore. So with this change, the total power consumption on the Ethereum network was drastically changed. They are saying that the power consumption reduction is 99.95% on the Ethereum blockchain, right? As I heard, 0.03% from the world power consumption was used for the cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, that is the main concern, to reduce the power consumption, and it will make the Ethereum blockchain more sustainable and more environment friendly.
Yeah, definitely. So environmental sustainability is one of the major aspects in the current technology world,
Yeah.
right? So they are looking for ways to like reduce the number of e-waste and the power consumption to a lesser value, like more sustainable future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I have a bit of a question or bit of idea. So on the Ethereum network, miners cannot mine anymore, but they have mining farms, and these big companies have invested so much money, lots of money on those mining farms. So my question is, will they going to abandon their mining farms, their computing power?
Yeah. So that can happen in the future, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see what will happen. Okay, now we have a pretty interesting topic to talk about, which is ChatGPT.
Yeah, so we got ChatGPT from OpenAI.
Yeah.
It's like amazing AI tool that we encountered after DALI 2, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if you have heard about DALI 2, I can show you. Like DALI 2 is a pretty much powerful API which was used to generate images or graphic, I would say,
Yeah.
right? So you can just mention like what are the different things that you want in an image, and it can be you can see like an astronaut running on the space with a hose, right? So it's really powerful and it's really crazy,
Yeah.
right? You can mention anything that you want and it will generate an image for you.
Yeah.
There's a huge database of assets that is with DALI 2, and yeah, it's awesome.
So yeah, here you can explain your concept or your imagination to the AI, and AI will create the pictures for you. So it's like your imagination comes into life like instantly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
definitely. So in the previous days, I think if you want to generate something which is in your mind, you have to maybe draw it, and
You have to go to the graphic designer.
yeah, that's huge time taking, but this is like really cool. It's a matter of seconds, and
Yeah.
I even have heard these startups where they are using this DALI 2 API, right, to generate ad campaigns. So the clients might have to only mention what they need, and the tool will actually call the API and generate the ad, and it will post it on the social networks like LinkedIn or Facebook. That's really powerful and a bit scary for the graphic designers and other the creative people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Chandim, I have seen now graphic designers are using DALI to do their work. Maybe it will uh, it will easy their work for them. Maybe because the value is your idea, and
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you do is not it's important, but it is not matter very much. So if you have a crazy idea, if you have like a world changing idea, then you can use those AIs, these technologies to make it live.
Yeah, yeah. So as you said, Gaishan, like the AI is not a foe anymore. It's a friend, right? So you can use the AI to like ease up your life and make it compatible with your day-to-day work, right? There are a lot of tools right now, and it will be coming in the future. You need to learn how to use them and use them to make your day-to-day employment and any of the application that you are doing to make it work, right? So even if you are a doctor, you are an engineer, or maybe a graphic designer, it doesn't matter. So AI will come to all those fields.
Yeah.
So you will have to learn like how to use it and go with the trend.
Yeah, so I see there are two kinds of people in the world if you're talking about AI. One kind is fond of AI, they love AI, they like to have AI in their life, in their everyday life. But the other kind is afraid of AI. If you have watched Terminator movies or Matrix movies, the AI is going to take over the human world, and they will wipe off all the humans, and they will be the dominant species, I would say, in the world. But the thing is, AI is inevitable, right? It will
Yeah.
it will come into the world, and it's coming, it's developing. So it's better to go with the AI rather than fighting with it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not something that you can't stop, right?
Yeah.
So it will come and it we need it because we have come to a certain point where the hardware capabilities
Yeah.
are so improved that whatever you try to do like 50 years maybe 70 years before. Now you can do it like 100 times or 700 times faster, right? So can you tell me a bit about this Alan Turing?
Yeah. Now this AI concept, this artificial intelligence as a concept is not a new thing. Alan Turing was the first scientist. I mean, he's a major person when you are talking about AI. He designed this test called Turing test. Sometimes it's called imitation game or imitation test. So the concept is he wants to test the machine if it can imitate a human or not.
Yeah. So you talked with the person, and if you can't tell the other person is a AI or a human, then that means the application that you have developed is passing the Turing test.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the pretty cool thing about that is like the first AI to pass that Turing test was happened in 2014.
Yeah, pretty recently.
Like Turing test first passed, right?
So Alan Turing created this test in 1950, but the first machine to pass it was 2014.
Yeah, so that is like 65 years after, right? It took a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why it has happened recently is the huge improvement in the hardware side, right? Now the hardware is so much speed. You have these SSDs, NVRAMs, and everything which can calculate GPUs, right? So they can do like tremendous amount of work within like couple of nanoseconds. So that's huge, and the AI is developing, and it will develop.
Yeah, AI is growing in a exponential rate.
Yeah.
So now, if we go into the ChatGPT, now this DALI 2 is a AI system created to create realistic images from a description in a human language.
Yeah.
And the ChatGPT is a trained AI model which developed to have conversations with like human-like conversations.
Yeah. So, bit about ChatGPT, like it went live very recently, but within 4 or 5 days, right? It went viral across all the globe,
Yeah.
right? Like people say, like it is the only technology so far went viral in a very short amount of time, right? So I have tried ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, really cool, and a bit scary.
Especially bit scary for the developers. There is this concern, like a real concern, like will the developer jobs
Vanquished, right?
yeah, vanquish because of this code generation tools. Because with ChatGPT and also with the GitHub Copilot, you can generate code. So it's automatically done. So
Yeah, so the thing is like if you are like familiar with this tool called Dreamweaver, right? So that was a very old tool.
Adobe Dreamweaver.
Adobe Dreamweaver. And now I don't know what is the name that we are talking
Yeah,
about.
I think the younger generation, I mean, the latest generation don't know about the Adobe Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
But
so
that
the
was a
thing
thing
is
in our era, right?
Yeah, so where you can like drag and drop HTML components and it will generate the code for you,
Yeah.
right? But the thing is, even if generate the code, still the developers are wanted, right? So the developers need to go to that generated code and change certain pieces and pull it together in order to make it work, right? So I think that will be the case for ChatGPT as well. Even though it generates some code, it's not like 100% will be applicable for the targeted requirements, right? So you have to do certain changes, and that changes can be done through the actual humans.
Yeah, so AI will help you to code, but the ideas and the basic problems, basically the groundwork, problem solving, critical thinking, then you have to do all that. But AI will help you.
Definitely.
So Chandima, the pretty amazing thing that ChatGPT can do is code generation. So I think we can create an application using ChatGPT.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Yeah, let's get into the ChatGPT and let's try it out. Yeah.
Okay, now as you can see, I am on ChatGPT landing page, right? So if you go down, you can try ChatGPT. So here I have already logged in. If you don't have an account, you can quickly create one using Google sign in, right? So here in ChatGPT, you can see some capabilities, examples, and everything, and also some limitations. So as you can see, it is having limited knowledge of world and events after 2021, right? So that means like all the data it has is like trained with the data set of until 2021. If you ask something after that, ChatGPT won't be able to answer you, right? So let's start with a simple one. Let's say I want to create a simple to-do application, right? So I will ask ChatGPT now, help me how to create this application, right? So let's ask like, can you show me how to create a to-do application in React, right? So I will go with React.js. Let's see what is the answer it will give to me, right? So I heard that a lot of people are accessing this public API, which is free, but there is a certain load that even the open API server can handle, right? So there are some lags when you try it. I have experienced that, but at the moment I think I am pretty good and I can get the sample code being generated. So the beauty of this ChatGPT is like it's generating the code on the fly. It's not reading from the internet and copying those code. It's actually generating code for you based on the questions that you are asking.
Yeah, I think it's like it's machine learning. It learns from the internet and all the data provided to it, and it's translating that data in an intelligent way,
Yeah.
for your response.
Yeah, so I think the pretty cool thing is it's not now connected to the to internet as well, no?
Yes.
So everything that is generated happens to the models that was pre-trained.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically now ChatGPT is not connected to the internet, so uh, uh, it is giving you the knowledge that it have gained with the dataset provided to it.
Yeah, it's like learning from another person.
Yes.
Yes. So as you can see, it has given me like how to create the React application using the Create React App tool, right? And after that, it is saying like how to do this to-do list component, and all the nested HTML and the JSX has been generated, right? So even if you run this application, I think it will work with minor changes, right? And the beauty of this is like if you go to Stack Overflow and search for this, it will not explain you these steps. Like you can go to Stack Overflow and search for the same thing, and actually let me try that one.
Yeah.
Right?
That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. So Stack Overflow, and let me search this same thing, and you can see like the question is there, the answer is there, but there is no way to connect those things, right? So if you start this one, you don't know how to create this app escalator, right? Even that part is described perfectly in ChatGPT. That is the really powerful thing. And let me go back to here again. Now let's say now this application is using in-memory list, right? The use state, if you are familiar with React. So let's say I want to use Redux to store this state, right? I can ask him like, I'm also calling him,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Him or her.
yeah, so it's more familiar with me than a person now, right? Let's ask from ChatGPT how to use Redux to store the to-dos, right? To-do state, maybe. So the thing is, like with ChatGPT, you have to ask the right questions. Otherwise, it won't answer in the correct way. Let's see what is the answer it will give to me. So it's taking some time. Let's see what will happen. So the thing with ChatGPT is it's remembering like at least thousands of questions that you have asked before in the same thread. So it will link to previous state, the previous questions that you have asked.
Yeah.
Based on that only, it will generate the new answers.
Yeah, it stays within the context. It has that ability.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like Google search, right? You ask the first search, it will give you some answers. The second time you search, it will give you like totally different answers. Now
It
this
will
is
remember the marketing data for you, but
nothing else. Yeah, yeah. So you can see like very cool. It's generating the selectors, it's generating the store, and everything is like pretty cool. It's happening on the fly, and this is a very good way to learn also.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's really good way to learn.
Yeah. So definitely, if you are new to React and new to Redux, right? And let's say I'm new to Redux and I want to learn it, and you already know how to do the to-do application from the first question. You can try it out. Then you can go to the next question and ask how to use this library to make it easier. Then you can see like here, the same application is being generated, but using React Redux, right? So pretty cool stuff. And let's say I want to store this data in an API, right? So I can ask like how to store the data in an API, right? So let's see. It's a common question that I have, that now I have only data in the client side in the Redux store. Now I want to push it to the next level, right? So let's see what GPT says. Even the response that you get from ChatGPT, right? Let's say to store the data in API, you will need to make an HTTP request. It's very clean.
Starting from the very beginning, right?
Yeah, so it's understanding that we are human and we need to have a very smooth way of telling things.
Yeah.
If you like directly give an answer or give a code piece, you won't understand.
Yeah.
This is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I think Chandima, the thing is when to train the ChatGPT, OpenAI have used human inputs. That's why it is trained to have a human-like conversation.
Yeah, definitely. So still I can't feel the difference, like it is a AI or a person.
Exactly.
So now you can see like it's telling me how to use the fetch API to call an API. So it's pretty much the basic stuff, and this fetch API is good, but I know that there's a tool called React Query, right, which makes it easier to do certain error handling and loading, right? Let's ask him like how to use that with this API, right? So how to load?
Maybe you can ask someone who don't know about React Query. They can ask what are the ways that I can optimize this application in a better sense.
Okay, let's try that one.
Maybe it will give recommendations.
What are the ways to optimize, right? Optimize the API calls in the to-do app. So So I think I have done a spelling mistake. Let me quickly. Okay. Okay, I don't know the word, but let's see. Even ChatGPT understand how to fix it. Okay, maybe the spelling is correct, but the optimized word, I think it has different syllables when you are doing English in different countries. That's why. Okay, it's telling me about CDNs and throttling, caching. So a lot of good stuff, right? So if you are going for an interview, let's say, right? So you can get prepared to an interview fully using the ChatGPT, right? This, let's say, like
Now I have a little concern. People will cheat on interviews using ChatGPT.
yeah, that's the first thing that came into my mind right now. Let's say you are in an interview and the interviewer is asking you questions. If you can directly convert that question to ChatGPT and it will answer for you, right?
Yeah.
There's no way to identify whether it has been answered by the person who's sitting next to you or ChatGPT. This is really powerful stuff. Great stuff. I think there are a lot of things that I can show you, but let's stop here and let
Maybe you can try to build an application or learn something using ChatGPT. It's pretty exciting.
yeah. Anything that you want to learn,
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT is the place to start.
Yeah. Okay, now I think that is it for today. We are going to end the podcast. Now I invite you to post your questions or your ideas in the chat, and we will read every single comment that you are posting, and also we will go through the comments and all. We will try to answer questions in the next episode. Thank you for joining with us. See you in the next episode. Bye.